Hello, hey, what's up? Welcome to the Totally Kind of Okay podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Joy Bankhead, and thank you for joining me. If you're here for the first time, I appreciate you. Let me know how you found this show, whether that's on YouTube or Spotify, or if you're coming back, thank you so much. I appreciate you supporting this show and taking your time out to learn something new. So this is a show where I talk about my real life experiences with mental health disorders. As my current diagnosis, I was diagnosed 14 years ago with bipolar type 2, and then since the 14 years I've been diagnosed with seasonal depression or seasonal affective disorder, ADHD, generalized anxiety, PTSD, and marijuana substance use disorder. So I got a whole bag of goodies. I got it all. You want some? You can have some. I teach you how to improve your mental health after listening to each episode. I discuss mental health treatment, tools you can apply to your life today, and healthy habits that improve your overall health, mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. So today the podcast is about the MTHFR gene. It's actually a gene mutation, but people just call it the MTHFR gene. And I call it the mother effer gene, and I'll explain why, but I always say mother effer gene because it's a gene mutation that can cause a lot of problems. This is a common term going around these days on the internet, and most people don't even understand what it really is. It's used a lot in psychotherapy in the mental health field, but it has more implications than just on mental health. Some people assume they have certain problems that are due to the MTHFR gene, but I don't know if they have it. The only way to actually know if you have the gene mutation is a DNA test. We start every episode with an affirmation, and I'm going to tell you what it is, and then we're going to repeat it 3 times. So I love doing affirmations because affirmations have literally changed the way I think, my beliefs about myself and the world around me, and it's helped me to build confidence and love myself more. Today's affirmation is, I am defined by more than my genetics, and I can become whoever I want to be. It's kind of a long one, so I'll say it slowly. I am defined by more than my genetics, and I can become whoever I want to be. I am defined by more than my genetics, and I can become whoever I want to be. I am defined by more than my genetics, and I can become whoever I want to be. And that's true. You're not defined by your upbringing. I mean, your life experience, your childhood, how you were brought up, like those all factor into who you are today, but it doesn't have to define who you are. You can choose to change the script, change the narrative, create your own life, follow your dreams. You can even change your personality traits if you work on it a lot, and if you work through, like, say, your trauma from your past. You don't have to be defined by who you were born as and who you grew up as. You can become a whole new person and whoever you want to be. All right, what is MTHFR? MTHFR stands for, this is a big word, okay, let me try this again. Methyl-N-tetrahydrofolate reductase. It's an enzyme that helps the body process folate, aka vitamin B9, and other B vitamins. It plays a role in converting folate into its active form and regulating homocysteine levels, impacting various bodily functions like DNA synthesis, detoxification, and neurotransmitter production. Okay, when people say the MTHFR gene, they're talking about the gene mutation. These, there's variations in it. The variations can affect the enzyme's ability to break down the amino acid homocysteine, potentially leading to elevated levels of homocysteine in the blood. And homocysteine is an amino acid, a building block of proteins that is found in the blood. So it's very important to have good homocysteine levels in your blood, and I'll explain why it does a lot of things in the body. But basically, the MTHFR breaks down folate, and so it uses it in the body, and it helps balance or level out your homocysteine blood levels, or the homocysteine protein in your blood. High homocysteine levels have been linked to an increased risk of heart disease, stroke, blood clots, Alzheimer's disease, and osteoporosis. How does this happen? The MTHFR gene mutation is inherited, and it's passed from parents to children. Each parent carries 2 copies of the MTHFR gene, one from each parent. So all of us have an MTHFR gene from our biological mother and father. If a parent carries, so we have 2 MTHFR genes. So if a parent carries one mutated gene and one healthy gene, they're considered a carrier. So even if you just have one mutation, you're a carrier, because you can either have one gene mutation or a double gene mutation. So if both parents are carriers and pass on their mutated genes to their children, the children will have 2 mutated genes and may develop MTHFR gene mutation. If one parent is a carrier, the child has a 50% chance of inheriting the mutated gene, and that means they'll have it. If both parents are carriers of the gene, there's a 25% chance of, so the recessive trait would be a 25% chance of the child not having the mutated gene and having healthy genes. But it's more common, if there's 2 parents that both have a gene mutation, it's more likely, it's a 75% chance that the child will have either a single or double mutation. It's a 50% chance that they'll have a single mutation if both parents have a mutation, and it's a 25% chance of the child having a double mutation if both parents have a mutation, or two mutations. In my case, I actually know my biological father, he got a DNA test and he has a double mutation, which means his kids have a 25 or 50% chance of having a double mutation. And I'm pretty sure it's on my mom's side of the family too, because there's a lot of things that go along with this that I'll discuss that are in our family history. So, yeah. Importance of folate. So the gene MTHFR breaks down folate in the body, and folate is, or B9, is a very extremely important vitamin to the body. It is essential for converting folate into its active form, which is 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate. You don't need to remember that. That's just the active form of it. The active form of folate is critical for various bodily functions, including DNA synthesis and repair and detoxification. This form of folate also affects the production of neurotransmitters, including dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine. Folate is crucial for cell growth and development, and adequate levels are important, particularly during pregnancy, to prevent birth defects. All right, so what are the symptoms? Hold on, drink some water. A little break, let you process all that. I know it's a lot of scientific verbiage, but I'm going to break it down and let you know like how this actually displays in your body or your behaviors. The symptoms that you might have a folate deficiency include the following: fatigue and low energy. This was a big one for me. So I struggle with fatigue and energy if my thyroid's off, but also just in general, if your body's not absorbing the folate, it's going to decrease your energy production. The next symptom is difficulty concentrating and brain fog. Impaired folate metabolism can impact the brain function and potentially lead to cognitive difficulties. So because it affects the neurotransmitters, those are the chemicals in our brain that tells our brain whether this is good or bad, or, creates how we feel, like whether we feel good or bad. So if we don't have the right neurotransmitters in our brain, we're going to have brain fog and difficulty with processing and functioning. The next symptom is mood swings, anxiety, and depression. And this is a big way you can tell if you have the gene mutation, is if you are suffering from mood swings, anxiety, or depression on a regular basis, or maybe you've been diagnosed with them as a chronic illness or a mental illness. And some studies suggest a link between certain MTHFR mutations an increased risk for mental health disorders, including bipolar. So for me, bipolar is in my family, like throughout the generations, and I have it, obviously. So that's why I say, like, a lot of my family probably have the gene mutation because of the history of mental illness, and especially bipolar and depression in my family. Another symptom of a folate deficiency is cardiovascular problems, and this is due to having elevated homocysteine levels, which again is just a protein in your blood. And so if you have elevated homocysteine levels, that can result from the mutation, and it's a risk for heart disease and stroke. So if you have heart disease or you've had strokes, definitely get tested to see if you have this gene mutation, because it's I'm going to tell you like what you can do to work on it to basically fix it and reverse the effects of the mutation. Another symptom of folate deficiency is digestive issues, and these can be conditions like irritable bowel syndrome or IBS and leaky gut. Both of those have been linked to the gene mutation. Another symptom is neurological issues. So in some cases, the mutation can be associated with neurological. I have a speech impediment. Long story short, when I was young, I was 50% deaf. I'm fine now. I can hear now, but because developmentally I couldn't hear, I couldn't talk for a long time. I had to take speech therapy and all that. So some words are like neurological are very difficult for me to say. Okay, so sometimes it can be associated with neurological conditions like seizures, movement disorders, and developmental delays. The developmental delays would be especially for newborns to the toddler phase and beyond, but that's when it is most critical, right? Rare symptoms can be homocystinuria. I don't know how to say that. It's a rare disorder caused by a gene mutation that can lead to eye problems like nearsightedness and lens discoloration, blood clotting issues, skeletal problems like osteoporosis, and again, developmental delays. Some studies have been linked to elevated homocysteine levels to conditions like heart disease, blood clots, and strokes. I know I said all that, but for some reason I have this multiple times in my notes. Folate deficiency has also been linked. Now, this is critical because I can tell you about someone that experienced this. Folate deficiency has been linked to birth defects, infertility, and miscarriages. It can also lead to birth defects in the brain and spine, such as spina bifida, and anencephaly. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's a severe birth defect where significant portions of the brain, skull, and cap are missing. So it's very critical. Like when you're on a prenatal vitamin, it has folic acid, right? Well, folic acid, if you have the gene mutation, your body can't break down folic acid into the usable form of folate that your body needs. So if you have a prenatal that says folic acid, but you experience miscarriages or infertility, you need to get on a methylized folate where that the folate is already broken down so your body can use it for the functions it needs. And I have a friend, I love her. She's a great friend. She suffered with infertility and miscarriages for 8 or 9 years. I think 9 years. She had 4 miscarriages within, I think, like 4 years or something. And she started taking methylized folate. Well, you know, she took prenatal vitamins, but like I said, if it's folic acid, that's basically null and void. It's like no use to your body, because your body, if you have a mutation, is not going to break down the folic acid. So she, you know, obviously took prenatals when she had her pregnancies, but because it wasn't the methylized folate, it wasn't working. So she got on methylized folate, and she was on it for a month, and she got pregnant and continued taking it. And now she has a healthy baby, and I'm so happy for her. I think the baby's like 8 months or something. Yeah, 8 months old. So I'm so happy for her. But yeah, as you can see, especially if you have a history of women in your family having miscarriages, you should really talk to a doctor and consider getting on methylized folate. Real quick, I just want to announce something that I've been working on for years now. This is something that has been a passion project of mine, and I'm really excited that it's actually going to be available for the world to help people. And it's my online course called Connected and Confident Self-Care for the Soul. So it's a self-care online course, self-led, and it could take you a couple days, it could take you a couple weeks. It's not very long, but what it is it helps you identify what self-care really is versus what the internet or other people say self-care is. And it breaks down the levels of self-care and how to get from one level to the next, or to know when you need to maintain at a certain level. And I explain all that in the course. And then also it will help you if you're struggling with like burnout, fatigue, exhaustion, just like feeling down or having like more hard days than you should be having and struggling a lot with just balancing everything. This course will teach you how to implement self-care to improve your overall well-being and to help you feel more grounded, centered, balanced. It will help you be more present for your family and your friends and the people around you. It will help you just become a better version of yourself, because you're going to be taking such good care of yourself that you're going to be like on another level. And it also will help you build a customized self-care plan as well. So it's coming out in July. Right now it's June 28th. So I think it's going to launch either mid-July or the end of July. I'll give you updates on the podcast, but for the first 2 months, there will be a 25% discount, and you can email me at tiffbankhead@gmail.com. I'll put that in the show notes, and just put self-care in the subject line, and I'll get you on the list for the 25% off. Or you can go to my website and you can get free digital affirmation cards that will sign you up for my email list that will get you the 25% off. And my website will be in the notes, but if you want to write it down real quick, it's just stan.store/Tiffany Joy Bankhead. So my full name, stan.store/Tiffany Joy Bankhead. and you will get signed up for my email list. I don't like spam your emails with a bunch of emails. Like I hardly ever send marketing emails. So mostly I just send updates on the podcast or like what things I like or what I'm doing lately. So it's not like constantly like spamming you to sell things, but it is important if you want that 25% off that you get signed up on the email list by either emailing me self-care or going to my website and getting the digital affirmation cards. So thank you for considering that, and I hope you know, I'm going to be giving more information about it as I go along, but I hope that it'll be something that's really helpful to you. All right, back to our subject. These are the health implications of the MTHFR gene mutation. And while initially thought to cause various health problems, many individuals with the MTHFR mutation can live a normal life and don't require treatment unless they develop symptoms. So the health implication are mental health conditions, which I said. Some studies suggest a link between conditions like depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, and ADHD, and the gene mutation. Up to 40% of the population may have a MTHFR gene mutation of some kind, whether that's a single or double mutation. And it makes sense because it's estimated that more than 1 in 5 adults in the U.S. live with a mental illness. So about 25% of the population has a mental illness or mental disorder, whatever you like to call it. And 40% of the population could have this mutation. So there is more than likely a high correlation between the mutation and mental illness. And obviously, you know, there's a lot of things that impact your mental illness, but like I've explained in this episode, when you have a deficiency, you're going to have all those symptoms, and it's going to lead to less brain functioning, less ability to handle your emotions, etc. Also, a link between the gene mutation is with substance use disorders or addiction. And about 33% of U.S. adults who have a mental illness, so 25% have a mental illness. Out of that 25%, about a third of those also have a substance use disorder. Other conditions like chronic pain syndromes, certain cancers, and autoimmune disorders may also be linked to the MTHFR gene mutation. I myself have an autoimmune disorder, and so I believe that part of that also was caused by this mutation because my body just wasn't getting what it needed to be balanced and to function properly. So genetic testing can determine if you have a mutation. It's not also, you don't always need it. Like, I don't know if I'll ever get tested for it because I just assume that I have it. But all it is a blood sample, and they test the DNA to see if you have the gene mutation. Okay, treatment. Treatment is pretty simple. Basically, treatment is supplementation and lifestyle modifications. So, supplementation, what do you want to take? If you suspect you have a mutation or you have been experiencing any of these symptoms that we've talked about in this episode, you may just like want to start yourself on the methylized folate or methylated folate. I think they're interchangeable. I don't know if there's a difference, but you could just put yourself on it. It's not like a harmful vitamin. It's an essential vitamin we need. It's a vitamin B9. And so a lot of people that take multivitamins already have the B9 in it, but it's folic acid. It's not methylized folate. So get specifically methylfolate. I don't know if that's a brand. I don't know. I wish I had my container, but I take it once every day. Methylfolate is the active form of the natural form of vitamin B9. So typically you can start with 400 micrograms or 0.4 milligrams a day. When you do see a doctor, if they decide like you probably have this mutation and you're having symptoms, they will probably put you on a higher dose of like 1,000 micrograms or 1 milligram per day. And that's considered a therapeutic dose. Again, you can get on the supplement and see how it affects you. Like, you have to take it for like a month to really feel the effects and see if your symptoms decrease. Or if you already have a psychiatrist, like say you already, are diagnosed with a mental illness, then you can ask your doctor, like, how much should you take? In my case, I take 5 milligrams a day. So higher doses are 2 to 5 milligrams a day. And sometimes it can be prescribed by a doctor. There are, like, you can get it, basically anywhere you get supplements, but there is a certain type of, I think it's called Deplin, I'm pretty sure. I was on it for a while, but it's kind of expensive when you buy it as a prescription versus just getting it from a supplement dealer. But 2 to 5 milligrams a day is often prescribed by doctors in cases of recurrent miscarriage, treatment-resistant depression, high homocysteine levels, certain neurological conditions. And when you are taking it in a higher dose, you should be monitored by a doctor or clinician, since also excess methylfolate can also have side effects. So you want to be if you're thinking, okay, maybe I have this gene mutation, maybe I've had like miscarriages, or I'm having depression, or I have fatigue, like anything that we talked about, you can put yourself on like 0.5 milligram a day and just start taking that. And then if you're not seeing like as much improvement as you want, you might want to go to your doctor and then get like a therapeutic dose, or see a psychiatrist and see if they recommend a higher dose. Vitamin, again, another important supplement to take that supports the metabolism of folate is vitamin B12. So you want to take between 500 to 1,000 micrograms of vitamin B12 a day, aka 0.5 grams or 1 gram of B12 a day. Often if you get I have a B supplement that I take. So I take specifically methylfolate, which is the methylized folate, and I take 5 milligrams a day. And then I have a B complex that has all the B vitamins, and that has like, the percentage per daily value is like 200% of what you need. Another supplement you can take to help methylation, to support methylation in your body is SAMe. It's S-adenosylmethionine. I don't know how to say that. Sorry, I'm totally butchering these scientific words, but basically the supplement's called SAMe. It's SAM-E. And that also has a lot of benefits for people who suffer from depression or anxiety. A lot of my psychiatrists have recommended I take that, and my therapist too. Like, you can go to a therapist and they might recommend taking the SAMe supplement. Another supplement you can take is magnesium, and this supports methylation and helps balance folate effects. So magnesium, if you don't take a magnesium supplement, I don't know what you're doing, because magnesium, if you haven't heard, is one of the most essential vitamins. Is it a vitamin? Mineral. It's a mineral. It's one of the most essential minerals that we need in our body. And I think there's 11 types of magnesium. So a lot of times people will just take like magnesium glycinate or magnesium citrate or citrate, but your body needs multiple forms of magnesium. So I would get a supplement. I think mine has 8 different types of magnesium. So you want to get one that has like 6 to 10 different types of magnesium. Again, check with a nutritionist or a doctor on what you should be taking, but taking magnesium's probably going to do more good than bad for you. And also you can check your homocysteine levels by a simple blood test to see if you have enough folate and B vitamins in your body. Lifestyle modifications. So there's just a few of these. These are pretty simple. And this again is treatment for the gene mutation. Dietary changes, so increase folate-rich foods. Hold on a second. Folate-rich foods, for example, leafy greens, legumes, and citrus fruits. So just getting more food that actually has folate, because that's a natural form that your body can digest and break down. And avoid foods that interfere with folate absorption, like caffeine and alcohol. I know I love caffeine so much. I probably have 200 to 300 milligrams of caffeine a day, and I'm not even joking. I rely on caffeine because I have ADHD and it really helps me concentrate. And since I have bipolar and ADHD, I can't take an ADHD medicine because it could cause mania or hypomania. So unfortunately, I have to use natural remedies for my ADHD, and that includes caffeine. But if you really want to cut back on caffeine, that might be good. There's also, I think caffeine probably, in my research I've done, caffeine has more health benefits than it does risks. Of course, that's at, recommended certain levels. So, and alcohol, alcohol is poison. I don't drink alcohol very much, maybe like two to 4 times a month, depending on the month. And usually I'll have like a glass or 2 of wine, or, if I go out, obviously I'm going to drink shots and all that stupid stuff, even though it's literally poison and I don't like it. Just try to limit your alcohol intake as much as you can, or just cut it out completely. You can live like a very happy, enjoyable, fun life without alcohol. You do not need alcohol for every occasion, every party, every adventure you go on. You don't need alcohol. It's just, and you can enjoy life without it. Another lifestyle modification you can do, there's only 2 more, so we're almost done here. So thank you for hanging in there and listening so much. I am trying to make these shorter episodes, and this episode is definitely going to be under 40 minutes. So hopefully you're listening to the end. Work with stress management. So the MTHFR gene mutation can increase susceptibility to stress, which can deplete your folate levels. So having more stress will decrease folate levels in your body. So I'm not going to tell you how to manage your stress. That is, I will say, when people, because I'm 38 years old, a lot of people think I look younger, like late 20s, early 30s. And I say my beauty secrets are 1, sleep, good sleep, 2, hydration, electrolytes and water, salt, lots of salt, magnesium, and 3, low stress. Honestly, low stress is my best kept beauty secret, because when you stress, it just wears on your body and your face and everything. So managing stress levels is important for aging, for, healthy bodily functions, and just, having a low stress life is, I know it's not possible for some people. I know a lot, there are people that have immense stress, especially depending on the stage or phase you're going through in life. But if you can just do just a little bit to manage your stress, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to look better, and your life is going to be easier. So maybe I'll do an episode. I'll do an episode on stress management, because that is something I've been working on for 14 years. So the last lifestyle modification for treatment is exercise. So regular physical activity promotes folate metabolism. So your body is burning, your metabolism is functioning better when you're exercising on a regular basis. Like, you don't have to do long, intense hours of exercise to get the benefits. Like, a 30-minute walk a day is one of the best things that you can do for overall health, like in general. 30 minutes of walking a day is going to improve your stress levels. It's going to improve your emotional management. It's going to improve your mental stability. Just so many things. I'll do an episode about walking too. But like 30 minutes of walking, or 30 minutes in the gym of weightlifting or dancing, or some form of cardio. Like, I love to lift weights, so I lift weights like about 3 to 4 times a week, and then I do cardio like another 2 times a week. So I work out or get exercise movement in about 5 to 6 days a week. So, and that's what's helped me personally, because I have, like I said in the intro, I have all these illnesses. And so exercise is just critical for every single one of the things that I have struggle with. I put that in quotes because it's not always a struggle, but it is something that affects me, that I have to do stuff to actively improve myself. All right, so that's all I have on the MTHFR gene mutation, the mother effer gene mutation, which now you can probably understand why it's a mother effer, because it causes so many different effects on the body, and side effects and symptoms. And it's just a pain in the, a pain in the rear end. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. Let's say our affirmation 3 more times. I'll say it slowly, and it is: I am defined by more than my genetics, and I can become whoever I want to be. I am defined by more than my genetics, and I can become whoever I want to be. I am defined by more than my genetics, and I can become whoever I want to be. Thank you so much. I am so appreciative of you listening today, being a part of this community. I appreciate you supporting the show. Please give it a like on YouTube, or comment on it. You can also comment on Spotify. Please share it with, this is something I feel like everybody should know, because it affects like almost half the population. So I feel like sharing this episode is going to bring so much awareness and help so many people, just like by simply doing the treatments that I went over. And this show really is for helping people. And I talk about me, but it's not about me. It's about reaching out and helping my community around me and strangers on the internet who are suffering or have suffered with things that I have gone through. And you can achieve your dreams. You will find happiness and peace. You are worthy as you are, and you have so much value to offer this world and the people around you. I'm so glad you're here, and that means you're ready to become your happiest and healthiest self. So keep coming back, keep listening for future episodes on how you can improve your overall health, mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. You deserve to feel good about yourself and become your best self and the most fulfilled you can be. You can email the show for questions, feedback, or topic recommendations, or you can just comment on my hairstyle or my makeup. I don't really care. Whatever you want to email for. It's totally kind of okay at gmail.com. Again, I'll put that in the show notes, but it's totally kind of just an OK at gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram at Tiffany Joy Bankhead and the podcast at Totally Kind of Okay, where you can see funny videos, more mental health content, inspirational videos. I talk a lot about dating and self-care on my Instagram, so if that's something you're interested in, please give me a follow. I also post a lot about my precious little golden retriever Henry and my beautiful little calico tortie cat Callie. She's the best, my little princess. Anyway, so yeah, follow me, and again, subscribe or follow the show on Spotify, and share it today. And I love you. Keep coming back. It works if you work it, and you're worth it. Bye.